How's it going, everyone? Hope you're having an awesome day so far. Wraith here with another Doom Eternal video where we're talking a little bit more of a new update from the recent Hugo stream, where he played both the Necrovol levels of Necrovol 1 and 2, but then not only that, we did get to have a lot of information for the Ancient Gods Part 2, so stick around so you can find out a little bit more. Before we get going, if you're new here and love Doom and similar content, then be sure to subscribe and set up notifications so you can stay up to date with the channel. I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent here on the channel as far as I can, especially with now the Ancient Gods having a little bit more info and updates, so definitely expect some more videos down the road. Alright, well, let's get going. Well, the first thing I definitely want to mention is that there are definitely huge spoilers ahead. So if you don't want to know about a lot of the spoilers or leaks, I guess you could say, then come back to this video at a later time. But for the most part, they're not like huge leaks, if anything, or huge spoilers. But the first thing we definitely want to talk about is, of course, the achievements that we have seen on Steam that have been revealed. And so I'm going to kind of go over these real quickly. And I think I might have another video down the road, but at least as far as what we have, there at least seems to be 3 levels. There is Crystal Spelunker, can't even say that word right, and then Cross the Threshold, and Siege the Day. Now, of course, with the first one, it says Complete World Spear, and then the second one, Reclaimed Earth and Imora. Now, kind of going with those ones there, I have a pretty good theory of what's going to happen here, because going a little bit ahead of myself here, we do know at least the new weapon is going to be a Sentinel Crucible, or at least the hammer. Now, it's not necessarily the Betrayer's hammer. I don't think it's going to be his, per se. It could be, but if it's not, then it would make sense for why the first level takes us to Argent D'Nur. Now, if guys remember from the lore, in the creation of Argent D'Nur, we know that there was this cosmic spear or something that pierced through the planet during the creation. And after that creation, the wraiths emerged from the planet. So here it seems like the Doomslayer is probably going inside of Argent D'Nur to find some more wraith energy so he could put it into the hammer. It makes sense to have this weapon available at the very beginning of this new DLC, because these DLCs are for us core players who have put a lot of hours and effort into the game. We know the mechanics, and of course it's going to get things going real quick. Just like on the UAC Atlantica facility level, yeah, it was intense just right off the bat. So this one's going to get really intense right off the bat as well. So if we don't get this new weapon until the 2nd or 3rd level, then what's the point, right? So I think we'll get it here, because it also does tie into the next achievement, where it says that Tougher Than Nails also says acquire all Sentinel Hammer upgrades. So of course here, the great thing about that is that this is our way of kind of doing some upgrades in the DLC, just like in DLC 1 where we had the support runes. So this is the way that id Software is going to allow us to have some more upgrades and to have some new abilities to the hammer, which is really great. I definitely want to point out, though, that I'm really glad that this new weapon is the Sentinel Hammer, because going back to a lot of theories that people had, it was either going to be the Soul Cube, the Demonic Crucible, or maybe the hammer that belonged to the Betrayer. So knowing that we actually get to use this hammer makes a lot of sense, because when we get to talk about the new enemy, it just makes sense, right? And then moving on with the rest of the achievements, now of course we do have, this one's really straightforward, kill the Dark Lord or rest your weary fists. So this is going to be the ending right here, where we get to finish the whole game, where the Dark Lord is finally defeated. But then I'm really curious of what's going to happen, whether or not this is the end of the Doom franchise, or there'll be some type of cliffhanger to go into the next Doom. Maybe there'll be another DLC. I guess we'll find out, right? And then of course with the other last two, they definitely make a lot of sense. Of course we have the Live, Die, Reload, which is the extra life mode, and then the last one is Critical Literature, which is just collecting all the physical codex pages in a single save slot. So definitely there's going to be a lot more lore to explain, a lot more things as far as the Sentinel world, and definitely with the whole creation of Argent D'Nur. I think that's going to be really great how they're going to be able to expand a little bit more on that stuff, because in the base campaign we got to learn a lot about the creation of Argent D'Nur and the whole history of the Sentinels, and maybe this will actually expand a little bit more into what's kind of going on in the background. Kind of tying in with that, something that Hugo also mentioned was that this is actually a great question that Bite Me had in the stream, where he asked if the Wretch will ever be revealed to us. And Hugo, he pretty much said that the wretch hasn't been revealed yet. That kind of throws out a lot of theories right there, where a lot of people thought that the wretch would either be a demon, or he was either the betrayer, or maybe Sammer, like the Seraphim. So that kind of throws all those theories out the window, because he said that the wretch hasn't been revealed, but he did say that it was a sentinel or somebody in RipNtear, which actually now does make a lot more sense, because when the Doomslayer or Doom guy first came to RipNtear, he had his original marine armor on, and of course you can see that there are some Night Sentinels that kind of have similar armor, so there could have been a blacksmith of some kind that was just really great at what he did, and he just tried to have some type of collaboration between Doom guy's armor and the Sentinel armor. And so that's why we see the Night Sentinels, like the Betrayer, he has different armor versus the other Sentinels we see throughout the campaign, and just like in Sentinel Prime. So it's going to be very interesting whether or not we get to find out more about the wretch, or if this is going to be some character we get to find in a codex entry, possibly in the Ancient Gods Part 2. So I guess we'll find out. Let me know what you guys think. Another great thing that, of course, Hugo did confirm was that Doom 3 is in the same universe. And that's really good to know, because Doom 3 is kind of its own little poster child, where it's just different and doesn't really belong in this whole timeline of the Doomslayer. Because we know that Doom 1, Doom 2, Doom 64, it's the same person, and then of course we got Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. Now with Doom 3, it's a whole different situation there. But it does confirm that it is still in the same universe, just in a different dimension. So I think that's great that they're able to at least confirm that it's still in the same universe and it's not its own game. And that's what a lot of people thought, was that Doom 3 is its own thing. It's not really related to the universe. So it's really great to hear that confirmation from Hugo himself. All right, now of course, getting to the best part here is the big reveal of one of the new enemies is the Stone Imp. Now, of course, I was not expecting that, you know, I was really hoping it would be the Chain Gunner, but I'm okay with this actually. I think this is really cool to see another variant of the Imp, and honestly, the Imp and the Prowlers, they really make you have to move a lot in the game. Because if you don't, either you're gonna get hit by a ton of fireballs from the Imps, or you're gonna get a Prowler that's going to flank you without you even knowing, because they're going to appear from behind you. So with the Imp, the great thing about them is that, first of all, they're going to be covered in stone, they're resistant to weapons, so they're going to probably act a lot like a buff demon, but not be, you know, ferocious or anything like that. But they will have about the same strength as a Prowler, so they'll still be easy to take out, but there's going to be a lot of them at the same time. So it'll probably be just like we see a lot of Imps or Gargoyles in the same room as far as arenas go. We might even see more of them. And the great thing about them too is that you can kill them instantly with the new weapon. So like I was mentioning, it just makes sense, because you have a hammer that's going to be able to slam right into the ground and kill an enemy covered in stone. And then the cool thing is that how they're implementing the use of different mods that people don't really use that much, unless of course you're under the Mayo, who uses it constantly, is the auto shotgun. Now it is a great mod to use. I don't really like to use it that much. I really like to stick to the sticky bombs, just because, you know, you can spam the crap out of them. But this way, if you do use it, it is kind of a weakness to the Stone Imp. And if you kill the Stone Imp with the auto shotgun, you're going to get more ammo back. So it's probably going to give you more ammo than the usual ammo pickups by killing other demons with the auto shotgun, because you do get a lot of ammo replenishment from killing other demons, but this one I think you'll get more ammo back. So that way it gives you a little bit more motivation to use the auto shotgun when killing it. And then of course, as far as their attack, I assume that they'll probably throw fireballs, but their main attack is that they'll spin themselves kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, Hugo mentioned it, and then they'll shoot themselves at you as their main attack. So they're definitely going to keep you moving. So of course you're going to have the Imps, who are going to be throwing their fireballs at you to constantly keep you moving around. You're going to have Prowlers, who are going to teleport behind you, and then of course you're going to have these Stone Imps, who are going to basically throw themselves right at you. And then of course, another thing to mention is that now you won't be able to really use the sticky bombs, because if, for instance, which I'm sure they're going to do this, is that they're going to have Cacodemons at the same time with the Stone Imp. That way, of course, you're not going to be able to switch, unless you're really good at it, you'll be able to switch your mod from the sticky bomb, shoot it at the Cacodemon, and then switch to auto shotgun to take out the Stone Imps. Now, you could potentially do that, but if not, then you'll have to resort to using different strategies. So I think that's really great how they're really going to change things up. And then one thing I wanted to also mention about the Stone Imp is that I wonder if they're also just kind of a callback to the Nitro Golems from Heretic, which were basically stone enemies and they also threw fireballs. So it could have been that they were referenced by them, or that they were referenced by the Nightmare Imps, which a lot of people thought about as well in the stream from Doom 64. Either way, it's an awesome new enemy. I'm really excited to see them. And speaking of it, the other new enemy that we still might get as a possibility is the Chain Gunner. Now, Hugo did subtly say that he will talk about that later. Now, he could be implying that either they didn't want the Chain Gunner or that they wanted to save him for the DLC when it's available to play and not spoil him. So there's a really good possibility that we still could have the Chain Gunner in the DLC, but I guess we'll have to see if that's going to be true or not. But other than that, that's pretty much everything as far as the new info we've gotten, and kind of sum everything up. Obviously, we had the new achievements, the new weapon, which is technically leaked, but I guess you can kind of figure that one out. Obviously, they'll cover it a little bit more in the next stream, so it could even be something else. Maybe the hammer is actually just a real hammer. Maybe the Doomslayer just wanted to be a carpenter. Who knows, right? Anyway, of course, we have the Wretch, how he hasn't been revealed yet. We have the Doom 3 is in the same universe, Stone Imp, and of course, maybe the Chain Gunner. I guess we'll see. But I hope you all liked my video about the new info that we've learned from the Ancient Gods Part 2. Not too much longer until the reveal of it. I'm sure it's going to be sometime this month, maybe. I guess we'll find out. I'm really excited for it. I hope you guys are too. And if you liked what you saw here, be sure to like, subscribe, and share the video so we can get it out there more. Check out my social media accounts at RipNtear Gaming. Also check out my Discord so that way you can keep the conversation going with me and all the other community members. I should also mention that if it wasn't for my community members in the Discord, I wouldn't have known about the new achievements. So big thank you to them for pointing that out. Until next time, hope you guys have an awesome day and stay safe. And until next time, don't forget to rip and tear. Peace.